Hi guys, so today we're going to talk about the actionable steps you can take for financial independence. Now, you may or may not already be well aware of all these, and if you are, that's great, but if this helps even one person achieve a better lifestyle and achieve financial freedom, then I'm happy. And I do massively apologise for the rain in the background and the wind because the weather's crazy today and I've been trying to wait it out and it's just not happening, so we're just gonna go with it. So the first thing you need to do is decide what financial independence actually means for you. There are so many different definitions out there, and for so many people it means different things. And what it means for you is pretty much going to define how you approach this and how much you're going to need to have invested. So for example, does financial independence for you mean just working part-time at your current job? Does it mean completely retiring and never working again? Does it mean being able to cover all your essential expenses so you don't have to constantly live in fear of losing your 9-to-5 job? All of these will have different amounts attached to them, and it's really important to understand what it is that you want and what's most important to you. That's not to say that the goalposts can't change later down the line, but it'll just make it easier to calculate everything and really keep motivated. For me, my first goal is to cover my bare expenses. I'm obviously planning to move to Poland, where my bare expenses are going to be a lot lower than they are here, but I still want to sort of work part-time a little bit online, make a bit of extra money, and maybe through that keep investing and then be able to completely retire. But my goal overall is just to be free from the 9-to-5. Now, once you've decided whether you want to have your current lifestyle or whether you want to just cover your bare expenses or something in between, figure out how much you're going to need in terms of income per month and then therefore per year. And once you have that figure, times it by 25, and that's your starting goal in terms of money you need to have invested. Now, don't forget compound returns, so try not to be too scared by this figure. The goal for me is £500 a month, which is £6,000 a year, which is about £150,000 in investments. Like I said previously, this is the complete bare minimum. I won't be able to do anything fun, but I want to be able to get additional money part-time, whether it's from this channel, whether it's from teaching English, etc. Anyway, the next step is going to be to get out of debt. Debt is something that completely ties you down and doesn't give you the flexibility that you need if you want to be financially free. There are so many videos out there about the best ways to get out of debt, but essentially what you want to do is create a budget if you don't already have one. Ideally one that looks ahead at least a little bit so that you can see the impact of your decisions now on what your financial situation will look like later. Secondly, decrease your expenses as much as you possibly can. So I'm not an advocate for completely cutting everything out and not having any fun, because I think as 2020 has shown us, you never know what's going to happen. But you can easily do things like get a cheaper phone contract, make your own coffee, go out to drink less, buy less, stuff like that. Just be aware of where every single pound that you're spending is going and spend it consciously. Don't just impulse buy, don't emotionally spend your money. Make sure you think about everything you're spending and that you're not going to regret it in 6 months' time. Next, you're going to want to increase your income through side hustles. Now, this can be anything from getting 0 hours contracts, i.e. another job, to doing surveys online, to teaching English online, absolutely anything, because every pound counts. In your budget, you're then going to see the difference between your income and expenses, and your goal is to start off by using that difference to pay off all your debt, then put into an emergency fund. An emergency fund is absolutely key. You shouldn't start investing or doing anything like that until you have a decent emergency fund. Once you've built up an emergency fund, that's when you want to start thinking about investing your money. You're already going to feel so free from not having consumer debt and having that pot set aside in case of emergency. Honestly, I can't even describe the feeling. So now that you have paid off all your debt and you have an emergency fund, it's time to decide how you're going to invest your money. You're going to want to set up an investment account and invest your difference between income and expenses and basically watch it grow. Now, you have a few different options here. If you are comfortable enough to choose your own stocks to invest in terms of individual companies or ETFs, then you're probably going to want to look at apps like Freetrade or Trading 212. Now, personally, I much prefer the interface of Freetrade. I think it's a lot simpler for a beginner. However, Trading 212 doesn't have any foreign exchange fees. Having said that, the Freetrade foreign exchange fees aren't that high compared to a lot of other platforms, so I wouldn't completely let that put you off. I do have videos going through both platforms, the pros and cons, how they work, comparing the two and everything. So do check them out if you are interested. Of course, there are loads of other apps very similar to Freetrade and Trading 212, but these are just the two that I think are the most relevant and the best for complete beginners. What you'll need to remember is that investing in individual stocks does carry a lot more risk than investing in, say, ETFs or index funds. You will need to be comfortable with the stocks you're investing in and learn to do some research on what you're investing in. A lot of the apps are now starting to offer basic stock analysis as well, but it's really good to do your own research as well to complement this. Now, I personally use a variety of sources, and I'll do a little bit more of an in-depth video about this as well, but these are the sources that I use: Simply Wall Street, Yahoo Finance, Genuine Impact, and the eToro platform. All four of these have a lot of analysis on each individual stock, and I essentially look at all of them to see the whole picture and see whether I think a stock is a good investment. Now, if you aren't comfortable investing into individual stocks, but you want to get started in the stock market, then you could go for a robo-advisor. I'll do a more in-depth video about the different types of investing in platforms, but a robo-advisor is basically an automated, algorithm-driven financial planning service and invests your money based on your financial situation and goals. Here you've got the likes of Nutmeg, Ticker, and newcomer to the market, Eureka. The only thing to be aware of is that with robo-advisors, there's usually a fee involved, so just be aware of that so you don't get caught out. If we look at two of the ones I mentioned, Nutmeg actually charges a percentage of your portfolio as a fee. As per their own website, for an investment of about £10,000, that works out to be a fee of about £101. Now, with Eureka, they charge a flat fee of £5 per month. Obviously, if you plan to invest very small amounts, then a place like Nutmeg might be better for you. i.e., if you're only investing like £10 a month, you're probably not going to want to pay £5 a month as a fee. However, if you are serious about financial independence and you're going to be investing quite decent amounts, then you're probably going to want to go for a flat fee app like Eureka. Essentially, the flat fee approach could save you thousands of pounds over the long term and help you achieve your financial goals quicker. Now, there are so many platforms out there, it's kind of hard to impress me. As you know, Ticker managed to impress me with their unique approach to climate change and ethical investing. And now Eureka have done it with their unique approach to portfolio management and fees. They actually don't ask you about your risk tolerance because risk is quite subjective. Instead, they ask you how long you want to invest for to achieve X goal, knowing that they've already calculated the optimum risk and return for your desired time period. Basically, think of it like time-based portfolios, which is really cool, I think. Like I said, it's quite hard to impress me, but they managed to do it, so I asked them if they could offer you guys something if you sign up. So if you sign up with my code, you will actually get your first £500 managed for free. So you can check it out and see if you like it. Now, the final step that you're going to want to take in terms of achieving financial independence is reinvesting your dividends. So this is something that's really, really important, as it really forms part of that whole compound return over time that you're going to want. Some apps allow you to do this automatically, and with some you have to do it manually yourself. But essentially, every time you get paid a dividend from a company, reinvest it. It doesn't necessarily have to be in the same company. I personally don't always reinvest in the same company, although I often do, but I make my decisions based on when I got the dividend and which company at the time I want to invest a little bit more into. The most important thing is just to continue reinvesting until you reach your goal. Once you've done that, just sit back and watch your money grow. Don't panic when the stock markets take a turn and your investments go down, because that's the best way to fail. Just let it sit, let it recover, invest consistently and the same amounts over time, and you'll be absolutely fine. That's it for this video, guys. Hopefully it's been useful, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.